What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Threezero MDLX Starscream. So this is the next in the line of smaller MDLX figures. I'm collecting these, and you know we're going to get the Skywarp and Thundercracker next, so you can take a look at this one and see how you feel before you buy those. It's got a really nice paint job. You got that gray, blue, red, gold, silver, and gunmetal, and then a black wash throughout. Very nice detail. Here's the back. They didn't skimp on the detail back here. They got two sets of boosters, gunmetal. You have these pipes here with gold. All of that looks really good. Decepticon logos painted on. Nice silver face. It's lighter. I'm glad they didn't do a darker color. It looks good like that. And yeah, overall, pretty impressed with the look of this guy. It does come with the backpack not installed by default, and I put some Kiki on here to make it tighter because it was really loose out of box. So I have a little bit of Kiki on there and in there, and that definitely helps. Now it secures much better, stays on, doesn't fall off. But it does look really good, and we also have the wing blades, which is knocked off, but wing blades stored back here on the wings, which we'll talk about when we get to accessories. Let's go to articulation. In order to do the articulation, I'm actually going to remove the backpack just so I can show you, because it does hinder some of the articulation. I'll talk about that. But here's what it looks like without the backpack. Still a fully painted, complete figure. So the head is on a double ball peg, the head and the neck. So the head itself can go up and down, side to side, rotate around. The neck can also go down, so with the combination you can get it way down and way up, all the way to the sides, and you can rotate the neck too if you need to. You can get out a little askew, so make sure you just adjust the neck back to the center position. It can be a little tricky. There we go. The shoulders are on a ball peg, so they move in and out, and as rotates all the way around. There's a butterfly joint here that pops out, and there's sculpted and painted detail. Threezero does such a good job with that stuff. So the combination of the two, you can really get him across the chest there. There is a double hinge system for the shoulder. It's going to go down to there, up to there. The shoulder pad itself is on its own hinge, and the shoulder can go up on its own. So you can get that up to there using both in combination. You have a rotation at the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow, gets you the full bend. But there's no automorphing stuff here on this elbow like there was last time. You have a double ball joint for the wrist, so the wrist can go up and down, in and out, rotate around, and dice roll any position you need. Went down to the waist. I mentioned they've always had issues with the hip skirts. This figure doesn't seem to have it. They all seem to rotate just fine. They don't pop off. I can pull on them a little bit, and they're solid. So that's good. They've improved that. The hips are on a double ball peg. It gets up to there, back to there. You can drop down the hip or have it up like that. Out to the side, up to there. You're better off dropping the hip down before you put it up. You can get out to there. Rotation at the thigh, and you have a rotation at that ball joint. So you can rotate it here around a universal, and you can rotate the ball peg for a butterfly joint at the hip. For the knee, you get a double jointed knee with some automorphing here. So this piece right here on the back goes inwards like that. And then this front piece will end up moving downwards. So that's a nice looking knee. For the feet, you have a tilt, and there's two panels here, so you can move those out of the way. It goes in that much, out that much. It's on a ball peg, so it's back to there, forward to there. It's a double ball peg, so you can actually move it up and back, and then the toe itself can go up like that. So if you wanted to collapse the foot down, you can actually angle the heel all the way back and then push the toe up. And that gives it less of a pronounced, you know, toe look. It kind of flattens out the foot a little bit. And I'm okay with that. You know, I think it looks fine. So if you don't like this, you know, angled toe, you can kind of flatten it out just a bit. Let's come back to the waist here. So there is a waist rotation, and it works great without the backpack. But as soon as you put the backpack on, it does block it. That's why I kind of saved that for last. So I'm going to show you with and without the backpack. You also have a ab crunch here, where the cockpit goes into itself. That's very cool, and then it exposes a little bit of his spine. So that's a really nice joint. I really like how they did that. Now let's put the backpack on and see the difference between the two. And like I mentioned, I did put some kiki on there so it doesn't just fly off. But now, when you try to rotate the back, it collides with the hip skirts there. So you get that much. You can still do the ab crunch, but you can't do the rotation there. As far as the accessories, we get some nice stuff here. We get an alternate face for the first time in the MDLX line. To swap it out, you're going to just pull forward on the face. And you have an alternate, they call it a creepy face, this one over here. But it's his smirking face. And I actually prefer this face sculpt. I think it's just cooler looking, more iconic for the character. And there you go for that. And we also get, I'm going to work my way from top down, but you get the null rays, which he's kind of naked without them, but here's the null rays done in this gunmetal, sculpted beautifully. Doesn't actually do anything, it doesn't move or anything, but these will plug into the shoulders for his more classic look. Or we can plug them into the hands. But speaking of the hands, we get some alternate hands. You get these fisted hands, which I'm going to remove. They're all just done in this blue and black wash. We get these open, expressive hands. So they can be reaching out for Megatron or whatever. And then you get a slightly more closed, expressive hand. Don't really find much use for this. I would have rather they included something else, but that. And then you get what is the more useful hand, the gripping hand. Now, they mention you want to heat these up with a hairdryer in the instructions before you use it, so I guess they've learned over time that their figures, you can break some of these accessories if you don't heat it up. So I did heat it up, and I put these in earlier before this review, but you can hold the gun like that. Or since we already knocked off this one, they just pull out from the wings. I wish they were a little bit more secure, but you can put these, I think they're not side dependent, it doesn't matter. And again, make sure you've heated up the hand and put these in before the first time you put them in, because you could potentially, you know, break the plastic if you're not careful. But the fingers will fit around the grip here, like that. And then you can attach it back. And there you go. He's got his wing blade. Kind of a new weapon there. Looks pretty good. And of course you have two of those, so if you want you can arm them up with the two. Me personally, I'd rather just have it on the wing for a more classic look, but nice to have the options. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the MDLX Megatron. They basically come to the same height. The wings are a little bit taller here, but they do come to about the same height. So if you're, you know, kind of a scale or a height junkie and, you know, you want Megatron to be taller, just know they're basically the same size. So final recommendations on the Threezero MDLX Starscream. I like this guy. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. Now, if you don't like the look of the feet, nothing's going to change that. They still look like what they look like. Me personally, I don't have an issue with them. I actually they don't bother me, sort of ignore them. But I do prefer kind of the flattened out look when he's standing, just because it is a little bit tall. But other than that, I don't have any issues. The hip skirts are improved on this compared to others. They still will pop off if you pull them, right, because they're on ball joints, but they don't fall off like some of the other figures like Megatron. I like the options with the weapons. It was cool that they included the wing blades. They could have just given you the null rays and called it a day, but they did put that. The price point is higher on this one. This is $120 versus the $80 price point that they had originally. Not sure if it's justified, that extra $40. I do like the extra face sculpt and the extra wing blades, but I'm not sure they got the right price point there. But either way, I do like it. I recommend it. This is going into my collection. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.